Now this is how your shop is going to start out when you first start the game. So as you can see, there's nothing here. And like I said, this is only in regards to the amount of kind of work you can do and what you can handle. So as the more this increases, the more the work will become difficult. I will need 307 experience points to meet this requirement to get my upgrade so that I can have it available so I can apply it into here. Nothing more, nothing less. It's that simple. Right now on the phone I have 2 calls. Now some people will look at this and they see this and it's like they feel like they're like on a timer. And what it is that this is showing that this is going to be a brake job, because my experience level is only 1, and a brake job is about as simple as you can get it. So for the most part in it, you would have to take this on the test track to try to test out the brakes. I'm pretty good, so I pretty much know what I'm looking for. And then what you do is you'll go through what you needed. As you notice that with every point taken off is a point that's going to be added to this list. Now usually to find out what sections would be bad, in this case it's going to be pretty easy because the report is telling you. And if you can't find it, you just mark it with the happy star, and the star will highlight what's going to be needed to be changed in it. See how it shows you? So even if you're not familiar with the use of mechanics, you can do that. For those coming out of the 24-15 class, as well as that game, there's going to be more involved in here than just the dealing with the brakes. Because with your caliper, you're also going to get the cylinder. So when you go to put this together, you're going to be needing all that. So we're here at our computer. And in the computer we got our part selection. There are different kinds of part selections: interior, body parts, plates. Yes, you can be able to get plates. What's cool is they got the plates pretty much for every state. So depending on what state you on, you can get the plates. I myself is out of Indiana, so this is the plate that I use a lot. But we do not have 2 plates. So I fill the front plate with this one here. When you get the DLC content for the tuner downloaded, you will have these. These will give you your stuff in it, just like how you saw in, for those who have 2015 should know, this is what you get. So when you get the dyno open, you can be able to install these parts and test the output that's going to be happening, because that's how it's used. Because when you're doing it for real, that is what you're doing on the dyno testing. If you're going to go up there and you want to get speed and check your horsepower output, you get your performance part, put it in, test where you're at. And in some cases you're able to reprogram the microchip and get your fine-tuning from there too, but you would still be testing it on the dyno to see the output that comes in. But we're looking for brakes. It's selected here, or you could type it here, so they still have that. So this is how you would install parts that are going to be more than one piece. Because even down here you got bushings. So if you look in that left hand corner on the lower side down over here, you will see that there's the arm and then there's the bushing. So get this rear one, there's the bushing again. So yeah, when you do the bushings, it's going to be the same way when you take them out. Now, when you're done with the job and you're ready to release it, try to keep in mind that when you purchase parts, this is the money that's going to be spent. The task bonus is the kind of job that you're doing. The job bonus is completing everything on the job. Just because you don't complete everything, you're still going to get paid, but you won't get the extra out of it, which gives you your total payout. So when you buy a brand new part, you're not losing money. This is going to be important to know, because you will find out as we go through the different tutorials why this is important to know this, because you are going to get this money back. So all them parts I just used to buy for this is reimbursed here in full. So it's not like I lost money, I gained it, because I'm also getting for what's needed for my job. Okay, so as you can see now, if we look at my experience level, I have 124 experience points. When that orange level 1 increases, I will receive more calls. See, some people think that it's just only binded to this. This is not just binded to this. This will also have an effect, mainly, actually primarily, it has its effect here and how complicated the jobs are. So I start out with 2 calls, I get 2 calls, but when this number starts to increase, so will the number of kind of calls I will get, so will the kind of jobs I will get. So they'll start out anything from as easy as brakes and suspension to heavy engine work and everything else as it goes along. Okay, now I had met my requirement. I have my upgrade point. So we can deal with the 50% faster part examination, or we just go and increase our ability to wrench faster. We're also on a level 2 now, so now we can be able to start getting some vehicles in. Sometimes what will happen is that when you are getting vehicles in, the more that number increases, the higher the chances of getting a vehicle to come in. I wanted to point out in here, this here is a what some people call a mission work order. Isn't really a mission work order. What it is that in 2014 you would have a story and parts to replace, and in doing so you had to make sure you put the right part in the right spot, and it has to be brand new. So basically what it is that in 2015 a lot of the users missed this. So here it is. You get the car, this will stay here until you do it. It's almost like having that guy that particularly wants you to work on it and gives you the story, but all the parts have to be replaced new and everything. The only thing I ran into is that parts that I've taken off and put back on that were not part of the work order, I had to end up replacing, because the game responded to those like if I put on parts that didn't belong on the car, that it didn't come that way, and I'll explain that. And this here, I want to make sure that this is clear, because some people get confused. This is not a timer for you to get stuff done, okay? Because some people go up there and be like going, oh my goodness, I got a full shop and I got nowhere to put all these cars, and all these cars are coming in and I'm running out of time, and it doesn't work that way. The purpose of this timer here is cycling through the calls, because some people were noting that the vehicles in 2015 when you got them stayed there, and they would not go anywheres, and they would still be there. So here the cars will cycle, and they will be here for so long, and then they will be removed, and then another one will cycle up into its place. So therefore it's kind of like they're waiting on you, and if you're not available to do the job, then they go, and then they come back again. So it's not like it's hurting you. If you don't get to it, you don't get to it. It cycles, and then somebody else comes in, and that's what that's all about. I wanted to also notice one thing. Don't forget, your inventory may be junk. Sell it. You're getting paid for it. It's not like you're losing money. This is a three-phase lift. You can raise it to the top like you saw, or bring it down here so you can gain access to the tires to remove them. And if you hold the button down, it'll put the car back on the ground. Real quick, in here, when you're selecting your parts, another thing that was asked for is that a way to be able to select more than one part. Like for instance, push rod valves. On the V8 OHV uses 16 rods total, and before you would have to go buy it. Here you can just select all 16, and then away you go. So I believe this should conclude our basic shop tutorial. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to my shop and start getting into other stuff.